JD, how are you today?
Hello, hello. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm just really excited to have the chance to talk to you about all the great things you have going on right now. Just so much going on.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's very exciting times.
Absolutely. I want to take a moment to introduce our future audience to people who might not know you yet or are just finding out about you. I'm here with singer-songwriter JD Reynolds. Her current single, Whatever, is kind of an empowerment to just enjoy life and keep it simple. But I'm going to ask her to talk more about that a little bit later on today. Um, but in addition to her music, she's a model. She's been dancing since just a little bit after she could walk, I would say, right? Just if you start walking, you start
That's
dancing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, as soon as I could stand on 2 feet, I was in two ballet shoes.
So I just thank you so much for your time to get to talk today about things.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
When you think back and look back in life, how far back do you go to when you say you were like developing your taste in music and that you liked music in the first place, that you enjoyed it?
Well, the funny thing is, I was talking to my mum about this just the other day, and she would say to me that when she was pregnant, she would put headphones on her belly in her last trimester. And she said, you were so active when the headphones were on. You were flipping around and kicking your feet. And then when the music stopped, you really quieted down. And so from the day that I was born, my mum brought me home from the hospital, and she would have the greats on repeat playing in the house. So she would have Elvis and the king of rock and roll, the king of pop, the prince of everything, Prince, and the queen of country music. So she'd have these greats in the house playing, and mum said even from the day that you were born, you just loved music. You smiled and you wiggled around, and so I think I was born an artist. I always say it. I was born an artist. Yeah.
Yeah. So you almost have you kind of gotta thank her after that conversation and say, wow, from day one, you got me on my path from the day I entered the earth, entered the
That's
world.
right. That's right. And she has such a love and passion for music and for life. That's where I get my love and passion for music and life from. And she would, even as a toddler, she'd put on Dolly Parton and say, come on, let's dance. And we'd dance around the kitchen. And it was just that pure love of music, and it just cottoned onto me, and I just love music so much. And the style of music, yes, I'm completely fell in love with country music just from a toddler, but I love all kinds of music. I think anything done well, anything done fantastically, doesn't matter what genre it is, I really like it.
And I had heard you in a couple of different interviews talk about people like Prince and about Elvis and what other artists, like, as you were growing up, were in that mix, that people that you were hearing.
Well, I definitely loved Elvis. I've always loved Elvis from a very, very young toddler. And Prince, my mum loved Prince. I think that he is an incredible songwriter. The stories in which he tells, and that's where I feel Prince and country music are quite similar. And people will think, really? I believe that country music, the artists in country music, the songwriters of country music, they're storytellers. It's not just repeated words over and over and over and over again. And that's where I think Prince really set massive strides in his, pop rock career, because he was a storyteller. He wasn't just a one word over and over and over and over again. So I love storytellers. I love Whitney Houston. I love the Jacksons, Jackson 5, Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson. I loved Roy Orbison.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Totally love Roy Orbison. Oh my goodness, crying makes me cry every time. So it was very Dean Martin. My mum loved a little bit of Dean Martin as well, so a little bit of crooning. So I had this wide range of music to listen to as a kid, but I always came back to country music. George Strait, Dolly Parton, always just levitated towards country music.
And maybe it was because of, like you said, the storytelling quality. Maybe that was a big part of it. You enjoyed the story, and so
Yes.
that's what drew you back. Of course, the instrumentation and the vocals and everything, but that storytelling quality was the foundation of it. Maybe that really
It
helped.
was. It is the storytelling. It's a story from start to finish. And that's what I love about those artists. And that's what I've really tried to, um, that's what I've really tried to listen to growing up. I don't like listen to these that songs that don't mean anything
Right, right. Yeah,
to
and it's,
me. And a lot of people, it means something to someone else, but to me, I think music's very personal.
I agree. I like a good melody, but I really like for the words to mean something too. And when you do listen to
Me
the words,
too.
sometimes we just get busy in our everyday life and we don't get a moment to really hear what's being said. And then when we do take that moment and we stop and we listen, wow, the things that come out of people's creativity and their life
That's
experience.
right. And true. And I always feel that if you can connect somehow to a song, if you can think to yourself, wow, oh, I've been there, I've done that, I felt that, I'm going through that at the moment. I think that connection to music and through storytelling and lyrics is very powerful.
Yeah, and there are so many people who will tell stories to artists when if they get that chance to meet them of how a song touched them and sometimes changed their life, sometimes saved their life. Someone when you're sitting there with a piece of paper and a pencil, how you as a songwriter have the power to really change someone's path in a positive direction because of something you told them that gave them hope. That's the neat power of a songwriter.
Most definitely. That I think for me is one of the biggest buzzes of what I do. When a fan rings, calls me on Instagram or DMs me on in one of my social medias and says, "Oh my goodness, that song that you wrote, especially the song this year, my first single, goodness, that really got me off my couch and got me going, and I really thank you for that." And for me, I mean, what an honor to be a part of someone's life like that and touch their lives. It's just it's the biggest buzz.
Absolutely. I can only imagine how neat that must feel. And because we live in a world where we can connect like we are right now across the world and that with all the social media that's out there, you can get direct feedback from your fans. You can put a song out today and hear about what they thought about by tonight.
It's
You don't
fantastic, isn't it? Yes, it really, really is. And that personal connection that I have with all of my fans is really special to me. A lot of people say, "Oh my goodness, you must get so many messages." Yes, I do, but I really do take the time to answer and read every single message that comes through. I'd never like to be the type of artist that turns up to a show when someone comes up and says, "Oh, JD, do you remember me? I wrote to you about my boyfriend and we were going through some troubles and you really helped me." I'd hate to be the type of artist that says, "Huh?"
Right.
I'd really like to address them by their name and say, "Hey," you know, and address their name and say, "Look, I'm really glad that we could chat and I could help." Yeah, that's a thrill. My
That
fans are fantastic.
that's what makes people stand out in the industry. Someone like yourself who really can embrace their fans like that and just you have your personal life and your personal time and the things that you like to do in life, but that you take that time when you're able to sit down and look at all the things that people are talking about and asking you about or just comments. It really does make an impact, and I just do really feel like people in the business who just are that genuine, great things come to them. Great things come to them.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. One of my cousins was going through the list of people that I follow on Instagram, and I would say 90% of the people I follow on Instagram are people that I've never met, who I've just connected with on Instagram, who have these really interesting life stories, who have reached out, who have supported me, and and encouraged me, and those, I call them online, those social media friendships
Yeah.
that I have on Instagram are really important to me. They and it is interesting. And I actually said to my cousin, "Oh wow, no, you're quite right. I'm not really following anyone that well known. I'm not following, every single person I've ever met in the whole world." I reckon he'd be right. About 90% of people I don't know, never met,
Right.
whose pages and stories have touched me in some way.
And that's a lot of people because I think I was looking at your Instagram, 65,000 followers.
Yeah,
65,000.
That's, I know, yeah, and they're beautiful people. They're I love them. They're these hardcore JD Reynolds family members, yeah, they're really invested in what I do, and every silly little story I make, they're commenting and reacting with me, and it's really nice. So I mix up the silly with the seriousness in my stories. Some encouragement, some fun stuff, just my love of life. I can't help it. There's some silliness in there too.
A couple of the highlights of things that I'd seen recently in your Instagram account were, I love that you had that question and answer session where you asked all the questions, let people ask you questions, and you answered them all, just popped out one answer after another, and some funny answers,
Yes.
some fun loving answers.
Yes. So I think I did a 20 in 20. I had 20 minutes before an interview. And so I thought, oh, look, I'll jump on Insta and say, right, 20 in 20, let's go. And I literally answered them in consecutive order. I didn't skip any. I said to everyone, right, I'm not going to skip any. The first 20, whatever you ask me, I will answer. And yeah, they were fun. There were lots of fun questions. Lots of questions about dating.
Yeah, I saw that.
I can't, yeah. So lots of questions about dating that no, I'm not. I think I'm a bad date. I have no idea how to date. And then they ask me for my advice and I have to laugh. And so seriously, man, I can't string 2 dates together, let alone a relationship. But that's all right. My mum loves me, God loves me, that's all I need.
That's all that matters, right? That's all that matters.
All that matters.
And I think it was something that you had said in one of your answers. You said that person just hasn't called me up yet. That right person just has not called me up on the phone yet. It's just
that's right. That person just hasn't called me yet, hasn't found me yet. But he's just out there wandering around, a little bit lost at the moment. But he'll find me.
And I love that answer that you had given. Yeah, I love that. I also enjoyed some of the driving around as a passenger in a car and singing, and almost like a carpool karaoke with vocals. It was fun to see all that.
Yeah, I love driving. I love jumping in my 4x4 and getting out there and having a drive. And I've got my little hands-free device right at the front of my car.
Sure.
And when I'm just feeling a moment, I'll just go boom and press record, and I just cruise around, have a little bit of sing to myself, and I think I'll share that with my Instagram family.
It was a lot of fun to see, and it was very infectious. The laughter is very infectious, and the enjoyment. How could you not have fun watching something so fun when you're just feeling good and just driving and having a nice time, and you got backup singers in the back seat, and it's like really fun.
Yeah. My girls are often in the back seat. They're doing the whole backing vocal thing.
It was so fun. James Corden, bite your tongue. James Corden has to see you for the carpool karaoke. You have to get you in the car with him for carpool karaoke.
Yeah, we'll do it. It's fun. Yeah, we have fun. Those country girls, we get out there, we have a bit of a drive, we have some fun.
That's what it's all about. Having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the driving is where I get a lot of inspiration from,
Really?
from life and from just life passing you by, in the car. You just get a lot of inspiration from it. It's great.
Yeah, always paper and pencil, or just the mental notes, or the phone, or just to throw a couple lyrics together based on something you're seeing, the inspiration around you. Yeah.
So we'll be driving along and I'll see a horse or a cow or something would distract me, and I'll stop the 4x4. My friends will go, oh God, here she goes. She'll be riding bareback through that paddock in 5 minutes.
I frequently sit down in a restaurant, with a friend and talking, and a friend says something really just meaningful. You say, hey, wait a second, can you say that again? Can I just hear you say that? Say that one more time. Can I just can you
yeah. My friends know me well. They call it off with the fairies. So they'll say, oh my God, JD's off with the fairies. Shush everyone, she's writing something awesome. and they'll be right. I completely just switch off, zone out. I am off with the fairies, and I will literally just be sitting there staring into space. Probably why I'm a bad date. Half the time I'm just sitting there like this, writing. And they don't know me well enough to know what I'm doing. They'll probably think, oh my God, this girl's just a bit spacey.
But
Oh, maybe we've worked it out. Mate, we've worked it out. Maybe we've worked it out.
I mean, I don't want to wish for you to have bad dates, but I mean, if it's going to be a lot more great songs from you, I don't know what to wish, you know? I mean,
Oh, give me a great song over a great date any day.
oh. Talking about, great songs. I wanted to go back. You mentioned the song This Year. And,
Yes.
I know that you had said that in some interviews that, you had the ideas a while ago to talk about a year, but really 2020 really kind of encompassed bad year for a lot of us because it was such a crazy year. And I'm sure that helped the inspiration of pulling their thoughts together that you had for years, or how did that come about?
Yeah, so I knew what a year from hell was even before COVID.
Yeah.
So I suffered an injury, and it really some sort of very impactful event like that changes your life,
Yeah.
even for a short term. And it's just all about trying to find that hope and strength to pull yourself out of it. And so I'd always had that feeling that I wanted to write about, that I never did. I just kind of left it on the shelf because it was very, very personal.
Sure.
And then when COVID hit, that feeling hit me again. That just this feeling, you've got to be kidding me. What a year. This year, I just want to pack it in a bottle. I want to cast it out to sea. I want to get rid of it. I don't want it to exist any longer. And then I was speaking with a lot of my friends in the US and a lot of my Instagram family, just the suffering and the pain and the uncertainty that everybody was going through in 2020 and are still going through in 2021. There are a lot of people still suffering. I thought the song just hit me like a bolt of lightning, and it all just flowed through my head, all the feelings of past and definitely of present. And I put my combat boots on and I rang the guys and said, I need to get into this studio. I need to lay this track. All this COVID restriction. I said, look, you're not going to see me. I'll just walk into the booth. You won't even know I'm there. I said, but make that microphone hot. You record my warm up. I said, because I'm in the moment and I'm feeling it. And I did. I was on a mission when I recorded this year. I was all dressed in black. I look like a ninja. You should have seen me. I was a ninja warrior. I should have had my Cowabunga Ninja Turtles bandana on as well. But I had combat boots on and I walked in and I said, I didn't even say I'm here. I just bam. And then they ran the track and I hit that mic and I hit it hot. And it was literally one take, wonder.
Wow.
See you later. I'm done.
Yeah.
Whatever. I said, look, I don't even care if I've hit, sort of like, something that sounds a little, oh my gosh, that was harsher. I said, keep it, because that's the feeling. And then when it came time for my producer, Braden Williams, to play me back what I did, it was just really moving to me. And I said, that's it. That's the feeling. That's what I want in the song this year. And it was a song about, yes, I was angry and I was sad and I was emotional, but I was hopeful. And I really hope people got that out of it. I was really full of hope.
I love the concept that it was a one take recording, because it just
One take.
You can't get any realer than that. That was how you felt, like you said, the anger, the frustration, and you just nailed it down in one take, and that was it.
That's right. And the guys in the studio were saying, oh, hang on a second, you've got to record harmonies. I said, no, I don't want harmonies in it. I just want me. Yeah. So, not many songs these days have just one vocal with no harmonies. And that's what this year is. One song, one voice, no harmonies, just me and my emotions. And that's it, and that's how it sounds.
When you talk about raw emotion in recordings, I mean, sometimes it is just a less is more thing. You don't need all the overproduction. You wanted to get your point across, and you did. You got your point across, the raw emotions that you were feeling, and the harmonies may have made it sound too nice. Too nice.
That's right. That's right. And I really wanted this song to be one voice. And because I think when everyone's having a bad time, when everyone's feeling pain and anxiety, and let's face it, some people had a dreadful, dreadful year, loss of loved ones and family members and friends. And I just didn't want the bells and whistles in this song. I wanted the one human voice.
Right.
And it was very, very powerful for me to hear that back. And I said, yeah, that's what we're going with. Just that one human voice. Don't touch it.
I think that people who hear you say that and tell the story about how the song came together, as far as like how you recorded it and the combat boots and the one take and all that, I think they're really going to appreciate it even that much more. It's going to mean something more to know the behind the scenes story of how it came together. It wasn't if, we didn't get in the studio and have the singers over here and have the guitarist over there and plan it for 3 weeks, which is, there's nothing wrong with that too. Some great songs come
No,
out of
that's
that,
right.
of course, but
Yeah,
it's sometimes just that raw recording. And it's going to
that's
be neat
right.
for people to hear that story as you continue to tell that story with the people you talk with. And when they hear that, they're going to be like, wow, that's really something. And they're going to appreciate the
Yeah,
value of that song
I,
more.
yeah, I didn't want it polished. I didn't want it, all the bells and whistles. It wasn't a polished year. It wasn't a bells and whistles year.
Right.
It was, and I wanted to capture the emotion of 2020 in that one song this year. And I'm really, really grateful that that it was just left alone. And I pulled rank on that one and said, this is the way it is.
So great. I want to talk about going into 2021. Then you had the song Whatever, which was, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I want you to tell us about it. But just if I'm sitting here listening to it, I'm thinking just the kind of thing where just, no pretenses, just whatever it is, just go and enjoy life and not fancy clothes and fancy cars. Just go out and be with people when you can, of course.
Yeah. No, for sure. So 2021, my attitude was a whatever. The news would come on, this is happening, it's doomsday, oh, whatever. We can't handle.
Yes,
Just
yes,
give me some feel-good stories, for goodness sakes.
yes.
So it was on a Friday evening, and all my girls were around at my property, and we were just bumming around on the porch there at the front, and we felt like going out. But we couldn't be bothered getting dressed up, because when you go into the big smoke, all the girls are just dressed beautifully. They're dressed immaculately. They've got their heels and their dresses. And we wanted to go out, couldn't be bothered. So I literally said, oh, whatever, let's go anyway and see if we can get in. But yeah, come on. So we jumped in a couple of 4x4s. We drove into the big smoke. We went to a very fancy schmancy pub.
Uh-huh.
And the bouncer on the front door, he just looked us up and down, because we were just in jeans, tees, some truckers' caps. We weren't dirty, but we were dressed down. And the bouncer looked us up and down, and we said, come on, just a few country girls. Come on, let's liven the place up a little. And he said, all right, in you go, off you go. So we got in there and we had a really, really good time. We weren't in the heels and we weren't in the dresses, and we weren't, we weren't caring about what we looked like. And we were on the dance floor. And it's a real song about go out, do whatever you like, wear whatever you like, say whatever you like, just be whatever. And don't give a hoot about whatever anyone thinks of you, and you will have a really, really good time. And it was kind of like a social experiment, really. And it was on the way home from that night out that I went off with the fairies. All my friends were, whoa, hang on. JD's hanging out the window, not wanting to listen to anything. And the song just, bam, in my head. And that's how the song was written.
Oh, that's so exciting. It's so exciting to hear that behind the scenes story about it, and just to hear just everyday life, just going out and having fun with friends, and how it turned into something that you were able to put into words for a song. Really neat.
Yeah, look, it's a real girls anthem. It's a girls' night out anthem. And it's surprising that to us that we were so dressed down, we had no makeup on, we looked a little bit like a country wreck, but we felt good. It was all about how we feel, and we're feeling good. That's the lyric. And it was surprising to me how many guys at the bar tried to hit on us. And you'd see these immaculately stunning girls all around the bar, and here are the guys trying to hit on these six country girls, looking a bit of a mess. And I thought, wow, maybe that's because we don't care. Maybe that's because we're maybe A, don't care, feeling good, feeling and looking ourselves. And I think, wow, maybe that's the key. Just do whatever and be whoever you are. And, more energy will be attracted to you.
I think you got it right there. I mean, I think you're right on track with that, because if you think about it, when someone meets somebody for the first time, if they're not meeting the real person, if it's all about clothes and makeup or a suit and tie or whatever it is, it could go either way for a guy or for a girl, if you're not representing who you are at that moment. And some of those people that you interacted with at that bar that night, maybe they're there every week and they see the people who come in all dressed and they know that's not who they really are. That's who they're trying to be tonight, to be someone, to be attractive to somebody. But
yes,
you ladies came in and just enjoyed life, and they let your hair down and they get to see you, regular everyday people, the people that they can relate to, because they're everyday people too.
yeah, absolutely. And I really want to tell all the girls out there to give it a go.
Yeah.
Try it out. Just really be yourself. Wear your jeans and your boots. Just wear whatever makes you feel good. That's what I love about clothing. I'll wear whatever makes me feel good.
Right.
And give it a go. It's a social experiment, especially with the single girls. You've got nothing to lose. Get out there and have a girls' night out. Have a really good time. Ignore everybody. Ignore the boys at the bar. And yeah, give it a go, because it feels good. And the guys as well, do that as well. Just loosen up your ties. Just get out there. Don't worry about it. Just, get out there with your mates and have a good time.
It's great advice. I mean, in this spring, with everybody trying to come out of COVID, and the hopefully things getting better, the churches might be full. A lot of people getting engaged and married now because of your advice, because, it's like they might just be, the churches might be full of people wanting to get married this year.
Go for it, guys. Go for it. Look, bring on the love. All you need is love. Yeah, and I don't know. When you meet someone, you know. My grandma and grandpa, they got married real quick, just straight off the bat, because they met each other and bam, it was love. And so go for it, everyone. If 2020 taught us anything, it taught us just to appreciate the things like love and connection and just a hug from a stranger. How much do you miss that?
Yeah.
Just nice to meet you and a bit of a hug. But just go for it, guys. It's your life. Go and have some fun.
Great advice. I would think that you kind of have a no holds barred kind of writing. You're going to say what's on your mind, which is great. And I would think that'd be very therapeutic for you as a songwriter too, that, it's kind of a sense of journaling and getting your, not holding things in, as so many of us do. We hold things in and we don't speak. We don't say the things that sometimes need to be said. We're not looking to hurt people's feelings. We're not looking to, but sometimes by just acknowledging a rift or an argument or something that's just not feeling good, sometimes the healing happens that 10 years sooner than it could have ever happened.
That's correct. For me, my writing is literally like giving you my journal, my diary, and say, here, have a read. I do sing my truth, and I don't know how to be any other way. I won't water things down to not offend anybody in my music. In life, I'm a little more subtle with my words, especially with family and friends. I don't like to offend or hurt anybody. But in the studio and in my writing, that's my time. This is me. This is who I am as a writer. And so if I am having a bit of a rift with a family member, or something has made me feel a certain way, I won't talk about it, but oh yeah, I'm going to sing about it. Look out, everybody. But it is, and that's therapeutic for me, because I won't talk about it, but yeah, I'm going to sing about it.
And it gets out there. It gets out there. Just to say, hey, you want to know how I feel? Listen to my album. You know what?
That's true.
Put my
Yeah.
album on. Track number 5, that's about you. No.
Oh, dear. You know, the funny thing is, a friend of mine the other day said to me, you know, when the full album's out, because I've played the, you know, the full album is pretty much about 95% finished, and I've played
Great.
it to no one.
Mhm.
No one's heard it. And a friend of mine said to me, oh, I wonder, she said, I'm just so excited to see what kind of songs are on there. I'm going to go and try to think of which song. Oh, I wonder who that's about, or I wonder who that's about. She says, I reckon you know, there's a few guys out there probably sitting back going, well, that's about me. That's about me. And I was like, no, they'll never know. Everyone can assume and guess as much as they like.
Some people have had quite a career of that kind of situation, writing a song that 40 years ago they wrote, and people are still asking who the song's about. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's right. And I'll never tell. They can just, they can just keep on guessing. Oh, I mean, I think this year, my first single this year, I think that's a no-brainer. We all know what that's about. That's just
Yeah.
about my family and the stuff that bubbled up. And I was very blunt in that song. But the rest of the album, when you hear it, you're thinking, oh, I wonder who that's about. But yeah, I'll never tell.
Well, you can walk out of the studio whistling and happy, say, I got that off my chest, you know? All right.
Yeah, there you go. As you'll be listening to it going, oh, I wonder if that's true. And the answer is always yes. Yes.
That's
all
really
true.
great. I mean, it's fiction music is neat. I mean, when people take a story and they write a story fictional, but when someone is writing a song about life and about their journey, and you know that in advance when you're listening, it's like, wow, this is really something. You know, like you said, it's like opening up someone's journal, you know?
Correct.
Or diary.
This is the album is my diary. It's my diary. And you know, it's there's a lot of trust there, handing that over to your fans.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I
Yeah.
trust them. You know, they're always very supportive and encouraging, and I trust them with these thoughts. I trust them with my innermost thoughts. And like I said, I wouldn't sit down and talk to anybody about it, but I will sing about it, I will write about it, and I will hand it over to you and say, well, this is me.
I think we should all become singers. It would help all of us with our own therapeutic, because none of us really want to create that, you know, with a family member or a friend. It's hard to find the way to address that. But
That's true.
We should all be songwriters. We should just think about
all of you. Absolutely. Yep. Sing a song, write a song, get in the shower, belt it out, get in the car like I do and just drive and sing. Yep. It makes you feel good.
Yeah. So neat.
Really good. Yeah, that's what we all need. Next time when I'm on the road and I'm in the big smoke, everyone, I want you all in your cars singing. Having a big sing-along. And hopefully whatever's playing on the radio.
I hope so. That would be great. That would be great.
That'd be good.
Oh, you know, you have to feel good. Or I want to ask you how you feel about this, that people have said that, you know, your music, your style of writing, your album, the music that you put out so far, the jagged little pill of country. That's such a neat statement to hear that, you know, and yeah.
It's so cool, isn't it? It's so cool. The jagged little pill of country. I was really honored by that nickname for the album.
Yeah.
Even though it was nicknamed by a person extremely influential and extremely experienced and has had a hand in so many huge artists' careers.
Right.
When they nicknamed this album The Jagged Little Pill of Country, I was very, very honored by that, because Alanis Morissette, with that particular album, what she did for women in rock pop was unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, that album was just a power punch of raw emotions, and it was just an album for women. I loved it. Yeah. And so to grab that nickname for my upcoming album, all honored. Alanis Morissette is fantastic. That album was genius.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say, because it actually makes me speechless. Just brilliant.
Yeah.
Very, very humbled by that.
Yeah. It's always neat when we hear the people that are out there and what they do, and we have that mutual respect for, you know, that other artists have respect for other artists, and then to be compared in a way that's so complimentary and just so neat to, you know.
Yeah. Well, when my mum bought that album, and I remember her covering my ears.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't listen to this bit. It's like, no, Mum, no, I want to listen. And it was dynamite. It was dynamite. And yeah, of course, I went, I snuck out in the middle of the night and put the CD on as a kid and listened to the whole thing. And you know what the naughty words are, and you know what, but the power of that song is amazing.
Yes.
The opening line.
Yes.
Yeah,
She was a trailblazer at that moment. Like you said, she was a trailblazer for.
she really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the album was just incredible, and it's one of those. I think it was one of those moments where she was in a really raw emotional place in her life, and man, did she capture that! And all respect.
Yeah.
What a woman.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about, as you're moving through your life, you're always finding inspiration. You have those moments like you talked about that your friends will say, oh, she's having that fairy moment, and she's, thinking about the song and everything,
Yep.
So when you get back to putting it onto paper or putting it into a recording, what typically, do you have a melody that you connect with it then, with the lyrics that you pulled from your day, or do you have lyrics and then write a melody on top of that, or how does that whole process work for you?
Okay, it's very difficult to explain for me. I'm a very, very unusual writer, and all I can say is that my writing is a gift straight from God, straight from God, straight into my mind. I will be driving, I'll be having a surf, I'll be off with the fairies somewhere, and a song will hit me. It'll like a bolt of lightning, and it will, similar to how I wrote Whatever. I'll be thinking about it. I'll be thinking, gee, that was a really good night. My goodness, it was fantastic just to feel that good. It was fantastic just to do whatever we liked. And then I'd just switch off. Bam, hang on. I like that word, whatever. It was great to do whatever. And then I will zone out, and God will say, here you go, JJ, here it comes. And I will just close my eyes, and I'll just start hearing an entire song. That feeling that I feel, my idea, whatever. It was a great song, and it just starts flowing in my mind. And I will start hearing the guitar parts and hearing the banjos and the fiddles, and I'll start beatboxing the drums, and I'll start scatting the parts. And I'll always carry this little tiny MP3 recorder around with me. It's very, very small. And I got it years ago. I don't even know if you can buy them anymore, but it's like a little MP3. It's like a USB stick that you can literally sing into.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you just
I
literally
actually have one of those too. Yeah, I have one also.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So I'll always have it on me wherever I go, and I will get it out and start recording. And I'll record melodies, and I'll record guitar parts, and these recordings might go for a good 15 minutes. And I'll say, okay, I can hear the guitars going ding, and I'll sing everything onto this one MP3, and I'll ring Braddon and say, Braddon, I'm sending you something. I've got the whole song, and the whole song is there, the whole song. So I'll take inspiration from my own life, from what's happened, some sort of, bad date, a good date, a crush, someone else's experience, something that happened to a friend, something that's happened to the world, and I will think about it very deeply. And I'll have all these thoughts and all of these different emotions about a particular topic, and then I'll try to forget about it. I'll just switch off until something really hits me. It might be a guitar part, it might be a word like whatever, because it's the first thing that came to me when I wrote Whatever. First thing that came to me in this year is, this has been such a long year. I can't wait for New Year's Eve.
Right.
Hang on a second. I can't wait for New Year's Eve. I can't. So I get the MP3 out and I start recording. I don't think about a melody. I will literally, I've got the lyric and I'll just sing it. And whatever comes out, that's the song.
I love that. It has to be so neat to see it go from that point to the studio. Like when you're in the moment and you're singing into a MP3 recorder and your lyrics and you're doing the drum beat and your guitar, and then to see
Yeah.
it evolve into the final product, it's got to be so rewarding for you.
Oh, it is. And look, a lot of credit to Brad and Williams, because I'm a very, very particular artist. So if I'm hearing a guitar part when I've written this song, that's what I want. And lots of credit to the musicians on the album. I mean, they are the best of the best. And I don't think like someone like Chris Pedersen, who's played with Van Halen and Aerosmith and Billy Joel, it's kind of funny, the new kid on the block telling him what to do. Oh, look, Chris, that sounds awesome, but can we do this? It was interesting. Chris said to me, wow, I've never worked with a writer such as you, and I love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. And he said, where do you pull these chords out of? I've never heard chords like it. And those in my head. That's where they are.
It's such a compliment from someone like that, has been working in the industry all those years, to, because it could go one of two ways. Like you said, they're saying, well, why is she telling me I've done all this stuff? Why? But instead he embraced that and thought it stood out as being a very positive thing, that you had an opinion, that you weren't afraid to state that opinion. When you walked into the studio and you reached for that microphone, that kind of gives you that authority to be able to tell them how, because you're the artist. And some people don't ever end up evolving. They take the direction from the people around them. You came in and you said, this is how I like it. And they respected that.
Yeah, the musicians on this album were incredible, incredibly sweet and kind to me, and just the talent is just extraordinary. I am the new kid on the block, and I think there's a way of speaking and approaching with people, certain musicians, especially ones that are just just so incredible. And so I just say, look, this is what I'm hearing, and these are the chords, and these are the patterns that I'm hearing. Now you go put your own thing on it. And so I think it's that mixture of, this is how JD can hear it, but this is Chris Patterson at his best, and that blend of those two things, man, total magic. Yeah, all credit to the musos. They're incredible.
It's a true collaboration. Absolutely. It's not just someone coming in and playing what is in front of them on the music stand, or you singing it's a collaboration where together the band and you have made that magic. It's really something.
Yes.
Doesn't always happen that way.
Oh, look, they were geniuses, everybody, Murray Sheridan and Chris Pedersen. Murray Sheridan was on drums, he's played with Kelly Clarkson and Pink and The Script and Boys to Men, you name it. And it was funny, as a dancer, I know what I like to dance to. I know what I like to groove to. So when you're working with such a phenomenal drummer like Murray, and saying, oh, look, I really want this snare to kind of hit here or there, or, so I can put my dance moves to it. It was a new thing for him too. He said, I can do that. And I just said, I want you to just do your Murray thing, but, just keep those little things in mind. And same with Chris. I wanted you to do your Chris thing, but just keep those little JD things in mind. They're just geniuses. Very, very honoured and humbled. It's been an amazing experience.
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall to see those studio sessions, but just hearing you talk about the energy which you talk about, I think that they were inspired by you, because you knew that they were studio musicians that have done a world of recording for many people in the business, and you respected that, and yet you challenge them, and they like that, because I bet you they show up to a lot of sessions where it's just like, okay, play this, and they give it their spin, of course, but you gave them insight and you complimented them. You knew that they were seasoned professionals, but you weren't afraid to just pull them maybe one more step of the way, just a little bit, say, hey, what about this? But it wasn't in a way like, I don't like what you're doing. It's just like, I love what you're doing, but what would you do if we added this to what you're already doing? And that was, I'm sure, something that really helped them to feel good about The studio.
Ah, they're so cool to work with. All the musos were just great to work with, and it was so cool that they were just so I don't know, open to my ideas, and not only open to them but loved them. For people who have worked with the best in the best and played for the best of the best, for me that was a real compliment for these types of musicians to say, "Wow, okay, yeah, I love this. Let's do it." And I'm also very aware that a lot of musicians and artists such as myself really need to gather the information and just sit alone with it for a little. So I remember being in, because a lot of, there's a couple of songs on the album where we were actually in Chris's studio. He's a guitarist, and we were laying the guitar parts. And I like to I like to put my ideas forth, and then I like to leave the musician. I like to say, I'm running out for a Sprite. I'm jumping out,
Yeah.
and I like to leave them because I like to be left with my thoughts as an artist. So I jumped out of the studio and let Chris be, and I went out, and it was so funny. All these kids were there, and we were all out there making scrambled eggs. So while Chris was making magic, guitar magic happen in the studio next door, I was out in the kitchen. Now I can't cook. So these little kids were asking me how to make scrambled eggs. I mean, you may as well ask me how to make a space rocket. No idea. So it was me and all the kids in the kitchen trying not to set the kitchen on fire, making scrambled eggs. They tasted all right. And Chris comes out of the studio and goes, "What's going on here?" I said, "Oh, well, it's pretty much the blind leading the blind out here. They're teaching me how to make scrambled eggs." These little kids. So again, then you go back into the studio, and he was saying, "Okay, I think this is what's playing in your head. Let me know if this is what you hear." And you go into the studio, and you're literally just gobsmacked. You're gobsmacked. You're speechless. You're sitting there, and I said, "This is it." It's kind of like you've gone, "Honey, I've Shrunk the Kids." Remember that old school movie?
Yeah, sure,
Honey,
sure,
I've
sure.
Shrunk the Kids.
Yep.
Yeah, my nephew was watching that the other day, and I was like, "Oh my God, you got to be kidding me!" That's such a cute movie. Jumped in my head as a little guitarist and could hear everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's as I listen to you, I almost think of you as someone who down the road in your career might find yourself producing and mentoring other artists because of the way that you pull things out of people, or the way that you inspire them with your ideas. You might find yourself producing for an up and coming singer somewhere down the road as your career grows. It just,
Oh,
you know,
I'd love that.
because you
Yeah,
sound like
I'd
you've
love
got
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd love to, produce for another artist and really give them the feeling that that this journey has given me. Give them the feeling of, wow, this person can really hear what's in my head, because it's very rare. You speak and you listen to a lot of artist interviews, and it's very, very difficult for musos and producers to pull out of an artist's head exactly what they're hearing.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult. And sometimes an artist will say, "Yeah, look, but it was 90% there. Oh, yeah, it was 85% there." But for me, I can tell you it's 100% there. And that's what makes me so excited about all of the songs on the album, is how I heard them, is what's on track.
Oh, that's so exciting. So exciting.
It is. It's super exciting. Yeah. It's
What do
crazy
you
cool.
expect the timeline? I mean, I know that specifics may not be ironed out exactly yet, but what do you think the timeline might be for a full? You said the album's pretty much done and it's sealed up and waiting to hit the
Yeah, it's almost done. Yeah. I'm hoping to get it out later in the year. Sort of maybe a midsummer or end of summer thing for y'all over there in the US. That would be awesome. But I don't know. I'm not going to rush it. I just really want to feel it. So this year was just a feel thing. Oh, look, let's just release this year. I don't put much planning into the releases. For me, it's very spur of the moment.
Right.
I really got to feel the moment, feel the time that it is ready to drop some JD into the world.
Well, and I think the two songs, perfect timing for those. They just fit the moment for sure. They definitely fit the moment. And now it's finding the right moment for the rest of the songs to be heard.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it is. It is a whole story. The album will tell a story from start to finish. It's a story. It is a beauty. What a story. Who is this girl? Uh,
Now, have you done some shows down in Australia? I mean, from what I understand, I mean, I'm up in the States, I'm in Chicago, and it sounds like the pandemic's been handled pretty well down there. That people have taken the medical attention to it, and the way to control it has been really pretty good. So things are opening up maybe a little bit quicker than they are up in the States.
yeah, look, we've handled it extremely well in Australia. Look, we've made mistakes. Every country has, but we climbed on top of our mistakes pretty quickly, and we listened, and we had this absolute. We've got a passion for life, us Aussies, and not only passion for our own lives, but passion for everybody else's lives, our neighbours' lives. So whatever we could do to get people back to normal as quickly as possible, we just did it. Where you just buckle down and you do it. And so we have been going really well. Eliminating COVID. Look, it's not eliminated. I think it'll be, unfortunately, many years down the track until it's completely eliminated. But we're doing what we can. And as far as the live scene, look, it's slowly coming back, but there still are restrictions. So there's no concerts allowed, which makes it difficult for artists. So we've still got to just continually reach out on social media and connect with our fans that way, because we still there are no concerts allowed at the moment, these big concerts. But look, the small pubs and small clubs are starting to open up. The talented one-man bands in the corner of a pub, with limited amount of capacity. So, 100 people in this venue or 50 people in that venue. So look, it is starting to open up. It's very difficult to plan anything at the moment. So I haven't planned any live gigs. A lot of the times it's, let's do a show, and then bam, or, COVID restrictions come in, or, something happens. But I'm just hoping everything will settle down. And look, it's given me time to really focus on the album and finish off what I needed to finish off. So as far as live things are concerned, I don't know, I might just sneak into some, little pub just with my guitar and just have a sing to the 50 clientele. I love doing that.
Yeah, I know it's a very intimate setting to be able to interact with people in that kind of a small setting, for sure. And you get to know your fans, you get to see, and yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's, I know that, and I love doing that. I've done that a couple of times, just gone into very small venues, and just set up in the corner and had a sing. And oh my God, and it's kind of funny. I read article. Prince used to do it all the time in Australia, and I remember him saying in an interview that he did here in Australia. I was watching it on YouTube, and he said Australia is the place that you can do that. He used to just sneak into these little pubs and little clubs with a really old, out of tune piano in the corner and sit down and gig. And he used to do that. He used to do that all across Sydney. And then when he went up to Brisbane, he did that in Brisbane as well. He'd just find these little tiny hotels, and he would go in there at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and he would sit, go into the corner and just start gigging for the 20, 30 patrons that were there. And then obviously everyone started, hey,
yeah, oh yeah,
Prince is here. But I remember, that's inspiring.
oh my goodness, yeah.
And I've never heard of another massive artist doing that before. Prince did it. He loved connecting. He loved connecting with really small groups of people, and I love doing that too.
I know that he would love to have done that in the States, but it was just so hard. It was just in the United States when he did have some more of his surprise shows would always happen up in Paisley Park, up in his complex. He'd be concert, impromptu show at 2 a.m. up in Minneapolis or something. But in the States, the club things were so hard because, especially with technology, like you said, everybody picked up the phone. But how neat that he got to travel through down there and do that.
I think, look, Australia's got a very different psyche out here. We very whatever. We're whatever kind of people.
Yeah, yeah.
We're very, very laid back. We know everyone's just a human being. And so when a celebrity or big star comes to town and they're just walking down the street or they're at the beach at Bondi, we don't care.
Yeah.
We literally, yeah, cool. You know, for example, Nicole and Keith, they're in Australia all the time. And we don't really bother them. As high as Nicole and Keith. They're kind of like friends who just come home to the country and stroll around and go shopping and go to the beach. We're not celebrity, we won't bug them. So,
which is great because it's good for them to be able to, so many celebrities live in a fishbowl, and it's so nice to be able to have a place, another world to travel to or to be in or to come back to a homeland and not be bothered.
You hear a lot of celebrities, especially the massive American movie stars. You hear a lot of them speaking about how they can love to go to Australia because they can literally walk around the street or go down to the beach, and a couple of people say, "Hey, how you going?" and that'll be it.
Right.
They won't be that lobster of swamping them, and I think that's what they love about Australia, because they can relax and be themselves here.
I've never been, but it just seems like such a special place. I've known people who had come from Australia, they lived there, and you just hear talking to someone like yourself, JD. It just seems like such a warm place, and the people are so genuine, and the land is beautiful. I've never been there, but the land just looks so beautiful.
It is. It's a very, very laid back country.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say that they're laid back, but I feel I've done a lot of traveling and I've been to many, many, many countries, and Australians are so laid back.
Yeah.
And even our big celebrities like Nicole Kidman, she's so laid back. I remember being in a hairdresser's in Sydney, and I was getting because look, the curly, I've got naturally big, blonde, buffy, curly afro hair. And so does Nicole. And there's a hairdresser in Sydney that really specializes in washing it and taking care of it. And I remember sitting next to Nicole, and she was, she's Nicole Kidman, but you just sit there and she's with everybody else, and we're just sitting there reading our magazines. And I sat down and g'day, Nicole. And she'd say, g'day, kiddo. And so, you'd have a bit of a chat about curly hair. And that's how I met Nicole Kidman, just through literally having a chat about curly hair, sitting in a salon in Sydney. No special rooms, no special treatment. She's just sitting there with, getting her hair done, and everyone else is. And we have a bit of a chat, and then it's just silent. We're just flipping through our magazines because, it's just what you do in a hairdresser's. But that's how laid back Australia is. You can have someone just sitting there, and then you look over and think, oh yeah, there's Nicole Kidman. Yeah, g'day, Nicole. It's just like, g'day, how you doing? Just so laid back, and that's what I love about Aussies.
Absolutely.
Aussie celebrities. I feel it's kind of funny. I heard a couple of them interviewed. You hear the Hemsworth brothers interviewed, and they always say, I always feel so down to earth and myself when I'm at home.
Right.
Yeah. Because to all of us, you just, we're so proud of you. You're really, scorching the earth with your talent, and you go put the Aussie flag on the map, and we're just proud of them. So we don't bug them. We just, oh my God, there's Nicole Kidman. You have that little bit of a moment, and then it passes really quickly, and then she's just the fabulous, down to earth Aussie woman that she is.
And we all put our pants on one leg at a time in the morning. We're all people, and that's what I think sometimes people forget. Sometimes the celebrity stardom, people want to have a piece of somebody, and they're just people too, and they have their families and they have their lives, and they want to be able to roam freely and not be fussed over.
Yeah, and that's what they get in Australia.
That's wonderful. Yeah. That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's what they get in Australia.
I have to ask you another Australia question. I'm sorry, because from Chicago, my corner of the world here in the States, I've always admired the architecture of the Sydney Opera House. And I just, as a musician, thinking about that, it must be beautifully acoustic in there. Have you gone to concerts there, or have you been in the building, or?
I've performed in the
Have
Opera
you
House.
performed? Awesome.
Yeah, I've
Oh my
danced.
goodness.
Yeah, I have danced at the Sydney
Oh,
Opera House,
how
and I'm
exciting.
telling you, it is magical. It's magical. I've been to the Opera House many, many times, not only as performing and as a dancer on that ridiculously beautifully glorious stage, but sitting in the audience as well, supporting, you know, fellow dancers or artists. That's the last time I saw Prince at the Opera
Oh,
House, where he had
wow.
that intimate setting. And it was incredible. And that was that was his last show in Australia.
Wow.
And it was very, very moving. There was no smoke and mirrors, there was no big fanfare, and it was just Prince. And man, what an experience. And what you know what an I you know I saw my mum said to me the other day, and it was just really, you know, really interesting. She said she feels so honored to have been alive, like she's alive in an era where she saw the Beatles, Elvis, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Dolly Parton, and Prince.
Wow. Yeah.
She's seen them all.
Yeah.
And she said she's seen them all live. And she said, wow, what an, I mean, she saw Elvis as a kid, as a very small, you know, but she said, wow, you know, I've seen him, you know, I've seen them all live. And I thought, okay, well, look, I didn't get to see, you know, Elvis live, and you know, but hey, look, I've seen Prince live, and like what an honor that was.
That's just amazing to think about like all the different people that she has seen in her lifetime. That's just amazing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, no, she loves her music, she loves her live music, she loves her concerts, uh, and you know, she's seen Cher as well. And I saw Cher as well. Mum took me to see Cher and said, "You've got to come and see Cher." And you know, I remember her playing "Babe, I Got You, Babe" in the house, and it's kind of cool when you go to a concert, and you know, because Cher came out here to Australia, and you think, "Oh my God, yeah, there she is! Oh my God, isn't she awesome?" just incredible. So yeah, that really hit me, and I started thinking about all the people that I'd seen live, and yeah, talking about the Opera House. That was last time I saw Prince
wow.
live, and what an amazing venue it is. It's kind of magical, I tell you. I mean, I've been both an audience member and on that stage, and it's just magic. It's magic. I think for a ballerina, it doesn't get much better than dancing on stage at
I
the
can't even
Sydney Opera
imagine.
House.
I'm just so excited for you, and I'm living through the moment with you actually, because I don't know if I'll ever get there. Maybe I will someday get down to Australia, but I mean, to the point that my son and I have even built the Lego replica. It's a pretty good table size.
Hey,
Yeah,
I love Lego as well.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love Lego.
yeah.
Yeah,
Have you seen the replica that they had have you seen the Lego replica of the
I have. Yeah,
larger
it's
one?
stunning.
Yeah,
Stunning.
yeah.
Yeah. We have a show out here at the moment called Lego Masters.
Oh, sure, sure. Yeah, we have it
Yeah,
in the
and
States too. Yeah.
I love catching it. You know, I don't get to catch it live on the TV because it's on certain times, but I go onto YouTube and I watch the episodes, and oh my gosh, I mean, they're artists, these people who are building Lego.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. It's just amazing what
Yeah.
they do on that show, and it's really fun to watch. And it was something that I always wanted to do, was to build. I like I said, I don't know if I'll ever get down to Sydney, but it was neat to build that replica of it. And it's inspiring to see all the things that people do with Legos for sure.
Yeah. And you always see the Opera House on TV and represented in movies and docos and all the travel advertisements. But to walk up those stairs, it's massive. You are in awe of this building, just the most beautiful architecture. And I don't know of a person who wouldn't just stand there and you can hear the choir in your head singing the high notes because it's one place that, yeah, you've got to just go and stand and be. And if there's something on, I say to people, it doesn't matter what's on, just go in there and experience that live concert hall. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
You've made my day. I've lived that experience now with you because like I said, I've never been, and I don't know if I ever will, but boy, just to hear that, just so.
Oh, even just going through, because they haven't touched it, they haven't updated it, it's still just so classic and beautiful. Even even finding your way backstage through the small halls and the and then eventuating, just you find yourself in these massive open wings at the sides of the stage, and you've really just got to take a moment and think, here I am.
Wow.
And even finding your seat as an audience member, climbing the red velvet stairs, and it's just beautiful. It's a real experience, the whole thing, from finding a parking spot, which is impossible,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
getting to your seat. Yeah, and it is a real beautiful journey. You'll love it. Come on, don't say hopefully, say I will get there.
I will. I will. I
You
will.
will.
Yeah,
You'll get there.
I will. JD said
You
I had to
will.
do it. She said
Yeah.
I had to get there.
Yeah, you will get there and you will love it.
I really do hope so. It's been like a lifelong dream, to be honest. I bought books about the opera house, and just a lifelong dream as a musician to be in that venue. So I don't have to perform there. I'll just walk up the stairs and sit in the audience. That's good for me.
And that's a great experience. You'll
Yes,
love it.
yes.
Yeah, you'll love it. And it's one of those things, doesn't matter where you are seated in that concert hall, you will feel like a king or a queen.
Oh, that's so neat.
It's so
Thank,
great.
thank you for sharing that. Thank you. It's just so the good description. It just makes me so excited about it.
Yeah, you'll get here.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there an artist out there? I mean, we've talked about a lot of different artists, the people that, have inspired you over the years. If you think into today's world of the people that are out there touring and doing the same music, love the same country music that you love, is there anybody you think of that would be a perfect person to share the stage with, that you would like really love to share a show with, as a
Oh,
double
I'd
or
love to do something. Yeah, I'd love to do something with Keith Urban.
yeah,
Yeah,
wouldn't
and I
that be
think that
neat?
goes back to my connection with Nicole in the hairdressers that
Right.
day. She was just so sweet to me. She was really, really kind. And I think anyone who has enough gumption to ask that lady out and to marry her and to love her so much, I think he'd be an awesome human being.
Yeah,
So I would love to do something with Keith Urban, a fellow Aussie up there. Yeah, that'd be cool.
that would be so neat. Wow. And
Yeah, that'd be cool.
just like you're inspiring me to come down to Sydney Opera House sometime, I'm inspiring you to chase that dream, because that would be such a neat, and it's all about networking with different people in the industry, and you're in the right world to meet Keith Urban. You've already met his wife, and it's like the kind of thing
Yeah.
where, you never know what might happen. Just the different people, the musicians you interact with, the producers, publicists, everybody. You never know if that magical moment might happen someday for you. That would be so
No,
neat.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. You never know. And I'm a very optimistic person, and I always keep my hopes high. So it would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Oh my goodness, that'd be amazing, amazing. I will keep my
Yeah.
fingers crossed for you. That sounds so cool.
Oh, thank you so much. That'd be cool.
What about from the songwriting side? Anybody that you feel has that songwriting commonality with you, or someone that you feel like we put a pencil to paper and we just sat down and we just come up with the greatest song? Who would that be? Anybody out there like that?
Oh, I think that would be interesting. Probably Lionel Richie.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I I think I've read a couple of things online. He writes in a similar fashion. You wait for the inspo to hit you, and then you're not really sitting down with a pen and paper. You're literally just flying by the seat of your pants, and these words and melody is just is pouring out of you. So it would probably be Lionel Richie.
That would be amazing.
All night long.
Yeah. Oh, what a songwriter. What a neat guy. And I don't know if you've been following any of the American Idol shows that he's been one of the mentors on, and he just really has a way of talking to these young people and inspiring them. He doesn't talk down
Yeah,
to
and
them.
that's one of the reasons why I'd probably love to write with him, because just being the new kid on the block, I reckon he would be really inspiring and really encouraging, and it would be so much fun. And my
Oh
God, it's
yeah.
Lionel Richie. How cool would that be?
Oh my goodness. I read a great story about him in Kenny Rogers' autobiography, where they had written Lady together, and he had I guess he was a brand new songwriter. He was with his band at the time, the Commodores, and was just breaking into solo singing, and knocked on the door at Kenny Rogers' house. His manager answered, and this young Lionel Richie was there and said he had a song for Kenny, and he was really just not known as he is today. Obviously, Commodores were up and coming,
Yeah.
and he played it for him and played a couple of verses, and Kenny liked it and said, "Yeah, we gotta do this." So he brought him back to the house, and then one day they were ready to record, and they said, "Where's Lionel? Where's he's in the building? He's still writing the last verse to the song. He's still working on the last verse." It's just such a neat thing. And then and Kenny was a little bit worried, but this song came out amazingly.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so cool. Yeah, Lionel Richie. Wow. But if I was to sit down and write a song with anyone, or go out, and I don't even think we'd probably sit down and write a song. We'd be, I don't know, probably in Space Mountain in Disneyland, and then we'd write the song there.
That would be a great collaboration. And again, you never do. I think I always tell people when I'm talking with, I teach music lessons, when I talk to students, when I talk to other people, in ways like this, that we all have to set our sights. There's nothing unreachable. We have to think of it at least that way. We have to look at it that way, because
I agree.
With the social media platforms right now, someone that maybe we could have never reached in the past, we might be able to send a note through a social media platform to them, and they might see it and look at how you follow your fans, how you respond to your fans. Maybe someone would see something like that and they would act on it.
Absolutely. Yeah, true. I think that we're a lot more connected now, which I think is fantastic. And you just never know. How cool would that be? Yeah.
So you have a Facebook post to Lionel Richie today, and one to Keith Urban. You got a couple of messages to send today, don't we?
Final, it's JD.
Oh.
You know what? He just seems like such a nice human being. He's the type of bloke who'd just probably answer.
You just never know.
You don't. You never know.
One other very, very quick story for you about Lionel, but I don't know him personally, but just another story I'd heard. I was actually at an event for another songwriter here in the States, Richard Marks, and that Richard Marks was a young teenager, and he had sent his demos out to all the different record labels, and one day, and they all turned him down, but then one day he got a phone call from his mom. Said, "Lionel Richie's on the phone. He's swimming in his pool. Lionel Richie's on the phone." And Lionel said to him, he first of all, he said, "Hi, Billy, this isn't really Lionel Richie." He said, "No, it really is Lionel Richie, And he said, "I don't have any work for you right now, but your demo was sitting on my desk, my boss's desk, and I heard it. I just threw it in the tape player back in the days of cassettes. I threw the cassette in, I listened to it, and I don't have a job for you to bring you out here." He said, "But you need to go out to the West Coast to California and make a career of this, because you have something." So if Lionel Richie tells you something like that, you got to act on it, right?
Yeah. So wow, that's a cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very cool story.
You never know. You never know.
No, you don't know. Yeah, you don't know. You just got to do what you do, and it'll fall into the right hands, or fall into the right mind, and be heard by the right ears. Absolutely. And you just gotta keep the faith that God's got you back, and he's got you back. He'll set you on the right path.
That's so true.
Yeah.
What's the best way for people to really, you do so much social media, but I just want to give you a chance to tell people where are they going to find you the most, to be able to interact with you and learn more about your music, hear your songs, and, be ready for the new album.
Okay, great. So my YouTube is where you can, have a look and a listen to everything I do. So that's JD Reynolds Official. And then you can find me on Instagram. You can see my pictures and go into my bio. That's JD Reynolds Official. I'm on Twitter, but it's a different type of JD that you get on Twitter. I usually talk about how single I am and a few jokes about some dates, and so I'm a bit cheeky on Twitter. But you can find me, JD Reynolds Official. I'm on there, and I'm on Facebook, JD Reynolds Official. So just find me and send me a message. Look, the best place to send me a message would be on Instagram.
Okay.
And so, yeah, send me a message on Instagram and hey, just say, hey, how you doing, JD? I heard you, and I will answer you. I'm a couple of weeks behind on DMs, but I definitely try to answer every single person. So, bear with me and I will answer you. And if you've got a cool page, if you're, there's a couple of people who just have the most interesting lives. There's a guy there that trains wild horses. He just goes and grabs these wild horses and just, tries to train them. And I think, wow, what an interesting human being. So I just follow them. I love different people.
There are so many interesting things that you can see on Instagram. So many different people with different hobbies and the pictures they take of nature, maybe it is, and maybe it's a nature picture or music things or whatever it is, or architecture. There's so many neat things to see on Instagram. I'm a newcomer to it. I just signed up this year. I just got into it. I wasn't a part of it, and I realize what I'm missing now. I really love it.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, make sure you send me a DM. Say, yo, JD.
I will do that.
Yeah,
I promise.
yeah, find me. Yeah, but there's some really interesting people, and I just I love that community, and I'm very, very fortunate with the type of Instagram followers and fans and family that I've got on there. They're all wonderful. They're all really encouraging and they're really inspiring. They lead inspiring lives. So yeah, that's the best place to reach out to me. Just on Instagram, find me, JD Reynolds Official. I'm there. I'll be there.
Sounds great.
Watch a few of my driving stories.
Yeah, they got to see the driving moments. I love it. It's so much fun. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you today. And you just emit this warmth of enjoyment of life and energy. And it's just really, it's something that is going to really inspire people to want to hear your music and know more about you, because you're just so
Thank you
natural.
so much. That's very, very humbling. I really appreciate that, and it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you as well. You're really fun, and you have this great sense of just music and life and the good spirit, and I've really enjoyed speaking with you. Thanks for taking the time to have a chat with me.
Thank you. That means so much to me. Thank you. It's a labor of love. I love to interact with so many people that have a common love for music, and I just
and I can feel it, which is really cool. It's great to speak with people who just have that love for music, because even in a Zoom meeting, it comes across. I can feel your love for music, and it's very cool.
Thank you so much. Well, we're looking forward to the new album. I can't wait for that to be out, and we'll, hopefully we'll talk again sometime when the new album comes out. Maybe we could, talk about the different tracks on the album once it's released, and just kind of share some more stories somewhere down the road.
Yeah. That would be great. I'd love it. You'll be saying, now listen here, this particular track, what was going on here? Who is this person?
And you'll say, I'm not going to tell. I'm not going to tell.
Oh, dear.
Well, I wish you all the best, and we'll anxiously await for that record to come out. And thank you so much for taking the time today.
No, thanks so much. God bless you all. Have a fabulous weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.